Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Departure and episode 2 of Quarantine Cooking. If you are new here, I am a Chicago-based flight attendant and I make videos related to flight attendant life, traveling, as well as lifestyle. And before we get started, if you want to join along on all my travel adventures and flight attendant life related videos, make sure to subscribe to the Daily Departure and also ring the bell so you get notifications when I'm posting new videos. As you know, I am not traveling, but I still wanted to get out and experience the world, so I decided to take you guys on some world travels through my kitchen. In the first episode of Quarantine Cooking, we took you to Spain and we cooked a Spanish tortilla. Today we are going a little bit south to a different country and a different continent. We are going to be cooking dishes from the country of Morocco. Last year I got to visit Marrakesh as well as do a day trip in the Atlas Mountains, and on this trip we got to eat some phenomenal food. Today I'm going to be making 2 different dishes as well as 1 drink. The first dish we are going to be making is Harira, which is a Moroccan lentil and chickpea soup. We are going to be making a side dish, which is going to be Moroccan roasted carrots. And then the beverage we are going to be making today is Moroccan Mint Tea. Right now I have on the stove over medium heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a pot, and I'm going to add in celery. This is 3 stalks of celery diced up. I'm also going to add some yellow onion, and I didn't use the whole onion. I probably used about 2/3 of it just because the one I had was massive and I wanted to keep a similar ratio of the onion to celery. Both of these will cook down once you have them in the pot. While those are cooking on the stove for about 8 minutes, I'm going to get ready my next ingredients. I have chopped up 3 garlic cloves all ready to be added into the dish. And I also have a little tray of spices that I have all measured out. All the ingredients and amounts will be in the description below, but I do have some of them pre-measured out right now. I have cumin, ginger, and cinnamon right here in this dish. And I'm also going to add in 1 teaspoon of turmeric, but I like to just measure this in straight out because if you have ever cooked with this ingredient, you know it can be so saturated in color and I'm always worried that it's going to stain my dishes. The last burst of flavor we're going to throw in the pot is Harissa Sauce. This is one that I have purchased from Trader Joe's and it just has such a strong, wonderful flavor. You can even add in more than I'm going to be adding into the pot of it to add some extra flavor. It's basically a pre-mixed flavoring with red peppers, garlic, coriander, and some other spices. This sauce is great to have on hand because it can also be used to marinate different vegetables or meats, and it just adds such a bright color and flavor to your dish. If you have a little bit extra time, also before adding in your spices, you can also crack open your cans. We are going to be using 1 can of chickpeas as well as 1 can of crushed tomatoes. You can also measure out 1 cup of lentils. I'm going to be using red lentils today. Also a fun fact in regards to chickpeas, the liquid that you drain out of the can is actually called aquafaba. It can be used as a substitute for a lot of different ingredients to make recipes a vegan or vegetarian version. It can be used to make things like whipped cream or a mayonnaise. It is a pretty incredible ingredient. It looks like these are getting translucent and nice and cooked through, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in the spices. While those ingredients are getting nice and fragrant for the next minute, I am actually going to start on my second dish by preheating the oven to 400 degrees. I think we're all set to add in our next ingredients. I'm also going to be adding in vegetable stock. As I mentioned before, I am a vegetarian, so I never use chicken or beef stock, any ingredients like that. I always use the vegan or vegetarian substitute. Once you put the stock in the pot, you're going to bring it to a boil, and once it reaches the boil, you are then going to add in your lentils. I'm also at this time going to add some cilantro to it. I have about 1 cup of it chopped up in this bowl right here, and I'm going to add half of that to the stock. Cilantro is one of my favorite ingredients. I always have on hand the dried cilantro that I add to literally everything that I eat, so I was super excited with this dish because there is just such a lovely amount of cilantro in it. It really adds some wonderful flavor to it. You only want to add half to the pot right now because you are going to use the rest of it as a garnish or a topping when you go ahead to eat the soup. I have my red lentils in the pot now, and it is covered and reduced to a simmer, and we're going to let that cook for about 15 minutes. So while that is cooking, I'm going to get my second dish all set, and I'm going to start out with a large mixing bowl, and I'm going to add 1 pound of carrots. Today I'm using the pre-peeled and packaged baby carrots, but as an alternative you can buy a regular pound of carrots. Keep in mind you will have to peel them. The dish is very versatile though, so you can either roast them as the whole carrot or cut up. You can go ahead and add about a tablespoon worth of oil on the carrots. And then I have a dish of spices I pre-mixed. This is cumin, paprika, and cinnamon. And then you can go ahead and add some salt and pepper to taste. I am also going to be adding a little bit of the Harissa sauce to this as well. Get them all mixed up. I have a baking sheet with parchment paper that I'm going to add the carrots on top of. And then we're going to go ahead and pop them in the oven that's been preheating. While the carrots are roasting in the oven and the Harira is on the stovetop simmering, I am going to be making my drink. And today I'm going to be making a Moroccan mint tea. This was something that I completely fell in love with when I traveled to Marrakesh. I'm going to be making 2 different types today. I have a pre-made tea bag that I actually got at Trader Joe's. There they sell a Moroccan mint green tea, and also I have some loose leaf tea that is just a Moroccan mint. I was actually gifted this by my boyfriend's mom because she knows that I love Moroccan mint tea. So I have my tea bag in this mug right here, and in this tumbler I have my tea infuser. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour my hot water in here, and we're gonna steep it for about 1 to 2 minutes. The first time I tried the mint tea was when we got to our riad, which was where we were staying when in Morocco. And a riad is a traditional Moroccan style building which basically has rooms and a courtyard at the center. And this was the welcome drink that they gave us. I also have a dish right here with sugar because they definitely put sugar in it there. It was just so sweet and so tasty, which is probably why I liked it so much. The other times when I got to try the Moroccan mint tea was when we did our day trip to the Atlas Mountains. If you go to Marrakesh, I would highly recommend doing a day trip to the Atlas Mountains. It was a phenomenal experience. Our guide took us to his aunt's house, and as a welcome drink, she served us some Moroccan mint tea. The mint brings a nice fresh taste to it, and then the sugar makes it nice and sweet. It has definitely become one of my favorite teas to drink. And like I said, I really didn't like mint flavored teas prior to this, but I highly recommend trying it even if you are a little bit hesitant with the mint, thinking it might be too strong for your palate. It is so tasty. The carrots are about halfway done, so I am just going to take them out of the oven and flip them around a little bit so that they roast evenly. I'm also just going to drizzle a little bit more olive oil so that they don't get too dried out in the oven. I pulled the carrots out of the oven, and now we are just going to do the last steps before we plate them. And I have a half a lemon right here, and I'm just going to add this lemon juice over the carrots on the pan. Oops, it squirted sideways. Oh my gosh, it's squirting sideways. So add that nice citrus flavor. I have the carrots on the serving dish, and we are going to top it off by adding the final ingredients. I have goat cheese, raisins, some crushed pistachios, and the last ingredient is going to be agave. You can also use honey for this, but I had agave on hand, so that is what I'm going to be using today. The Harira is off the stove, and it looks and smells amazing. I have been wanting to eat some of this ever since the first time that I had it in Morocco. And the first time I had it in Morocco was when we did our day trip to the Atlas Mountains. During our day trip, we were hiking all over these gorgeous Atlas Mountains, and we were getting so hungry, but our final destination during this trip was on a rooftop overlooking the mountains, and we were not only served a delicious meal with the Harira soup, we also got an incredible view. It's one of my favorite memories that I have from the trip. And now I'm going to add the final toppings to this. We got a little bit more harissa, cilantro, and lemons. My other favorite part of that day trip to the Atlas Mountains was seeing the cute little goats roam around the mountainside. They were so friendly and so little. It was just such a fun day. Time for the final taste test for the carrots. It's such a nice mix with the spiciness of the harissa and the crunch from the pistachios, and then the creaminess with the goat cheese. It is just such a wonderful collaboration of flavors. I'm so excited about this one. It's going to be so tasty. It's so hot. You can just see the steam coming off of it. Get a couple different bites because we have so many different ingredients in here. Again, such a wonderful mix of flavors. The harissa has that nice spice, and I just, again, love the cilantro in this. I could probably put a mound of it on this. It is so good. Definitely add in that lemon wedge, so that acidity of the citrus is just such a nice balance with all the ingredients. And last but not least, my Moroccan mint tea that I've been basically sipping on the whole time I was cooking both of these. It's so good. I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy my meal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as we took a trip to Marrakesh in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Departure and also ring the bell so you get notifications when I'm posting new videos. If you decide to make any of these dishes or some Moroccan mint tea, make sure to post a picture of it and tag me on Instagram. This has been Quarantine Cooking, and we will see you next time on the Daily Departure.